Let me just state this. At airports, international arrivals, currently at 99.5% compliance rates. That is almost 100%. There is no evidence whatsoever that ArriveCAN is causing any problems.
Well, I would begin by noting that the two most essential and relevant questions that ArriveCAN poses to all travelers are, one, are you vaccinated to a standard that has been approved by Health Canada? And two, are you symptom-free? Which are logical, common sense questions that help us to mitigate against the ongoing risks around transmission. But we're always going to be open to finding ways to make sure that technology, whether it's in the context of ArriveCAN or any other platform, is as efficient as possible.
So, part of arriving back in must fill the ArriveCAN. If you don't want to fill the ArriveCAN, which is completely within your rights, you have to accept the ticket though. So it's one or the other. It's either you do the ArriveCAN, you take the ticket. If you don't agree with the ticket,
that's fine.
Take it in court. Okay?
Yeah. So I have to speak with this person? Or am I free to leave?
No.
COVID, at least the COVID control of every aspect of your life at the hands of the government, well, it's not even close to over. Today I'm going to show you one quiet funding announcement and another proposed government contract that the government tried to hide, which both hint that ArriveCAN, the fines and forced quarantines are not ending anytime soon. Did you see this the other day? Healthy people who have recovered otherwise from COVID, well, they're being forced into quarantine upon the threat of fines after the random testing protocols at Canadian airports were found to have been very flawed, often unable to distinguish between active COVID cases and recovered cases of COVID-19. Healthy people are having their lives upended, completely disrupted, their plans destroyed, and all of it upon threat of thousands of dollars in fines, and it's all based on flawed testing. But that's the same flawed testing protocols which have shown so many positive tests all across the country in completely different scenarios. Isn't that odd? And the thing is, even with the flawed testing, the fact that the vaccines don't seem to be working at all, and that normal people, and by that I mean people who are no longer intoxicated by fear and intimidation and who don't seem to care about COVID anymore, none of that matters, because the quarantines, the fines, the spy app, ArriveCAN that you have to download just to get back into your own country, they're probably not going away anytime soon. And I've got proof of that. Let me show you. First, there's this. It was in a funding announcement the other day. The Government of Canada to announce funding for a safe, voluntary isolation site in Windsor, Essex. Okay, they say this is voluntary, but who on earth would submit themselves to voluntary quarantine at all? Well, I think it's not going to be voluntary, and here's why I think that. I saw this a day or two ago on the Government of Canada's Contracts and Procurement website. But I can't show you it because it's been pulled down. It was a public health agency request for a compliance checker. But at the time, the government didn't post any details about what exactly sort of compliance they'd be verifying. Quarantines, I assumed, and I had to go digging, of course, to prove myself right. Because look at this. I found the contract they tried to hide on another government website. It's a brand new posting for a 12-month contract beginning next month. Let's read it together. As part of the Government of Canada's efforts to reduce the importation and spread of COVID-19 and its variants in Canada, Public Services and Procurement Canada, PSPC, on behalf of the Public Health Agency of Canada, has an ongoing requirement for service providers to provide resources to complete compliance verification visits with travelers in quarantine or isolation. The goal of these visits is to verify compliance with the Minimizing the Risk of Exposure to COVID-19 in Canada order, also known as the Quarantine, Isolation, and Other Obligations order. So this stuff, it's here to stay. This Liberal government is never going to let go of the power it grabbed using COVID as the excuse to do it. They can stick you in a COVID jail, spy on you with an app, and send agents of the state to make sure that you're complying with the stay-at-home order they used a flawed test to impose on you, and they'll arrest you and fine you for exercising your rights. What year is this? 1984? For Rebel News, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. Rebel News, in partnership with the registered Canadian charity, the Democracy Fund, is fighting back against the ArriveCAN spy app. To support that important work through a tax-deductible donation, please visit noarrivecan.com.